is Cat's Diamond Painting. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've joined me here before. Before I go any further, excuse me if I sound a little bit froggy today. I think I have picked up a cold and I'm just, yeah, it's just sort of arriving, so yeah. My voice doesn't sound great. Anyway, I am here today to do a post review of my latest completion from Diamond Art Club. It is a mystery kit, and it was the abstract mystery kit from Brizbazaar that came out, I think it was late December, sort of around Christmas time. So obviously this video is going to involve lots and lots of spoilers because I'm going to show you the completed kit. I assume that you're not here if you don't want to see that kind of thing, but just in case, heads up that that's what we're going to be doing. I thought I would just quickly, before I get into the kit, cover what a mystery kit is, just in case that's something you're not familiar with. So mystery kits are something that quite a lot of companies offer, and some do it differently. My only experience of them is through Diamond Art Club. I have 5 of their mystery kits currently. So I'm just going to talk through how they do it. So a mystery kit from Diamond Art Club will always be in square drills, and it will always be a limited edition. So once it's sold out, it's gone, that kind of thing. So the way that they do it is that they try to keep it as much of a mystery as they can until the very last moment. So when you look at your canvas, the idea is that you can't necessarily see what the picture is. And certainly before that point, you shouldn't know what the picture is. Unless you're like me and you like to know what something is before you buy it, in which case you go to one of the several Diamond Art Club mystery groups, and there are super sleuths on there who figure out the paintings so you can know what you're going to be working on. They have 2 styles. So there is the black and white canvas, where it's just literally like a normal canvas with the colour stripped out of it, and that's the one that I've worked on, one of the older style ones. More recent ones that you buy are quite likely to come with a little bit of shading of colours on the canvas. So sort of some pastel shades of like pink and yellow and blue scattered through the canvas, but they don't correspond to the colour of the drills. So say you have a symbol which is a star, you might find that on the canvas in black and white. You might have it with a slightly blue background, you might have it with a slightly pink background, and you just go by the fact it's a star and you work with whatever drill colour corresponds to that symbol. So I went with the black and white canvas for my first mystery kit because I had a choice of both, and I just felt like that might be a little bit easier for me and the way my brain works. So my next step then will be to try one of the other ones. Okay, so I think this is the point where I am going to get out the canvas. So just a final warning, all the spoilers coming. Could not be more spoilers. Okay, here we have it. So I'll show you all of the canvas, and I think I just need to close that curtain because there's a lot of shine from the daylight on the painting. So yeah, it's a bit dimmer, but you'll be able to see it more clearly without there being too much shine coming off the diamonds. So here we have the top half, and I'll just move that up. And here, oh, it's not moving. Here's the bottom. Okay, so it's pretty gorgeous. I'm really, really happy with it. I was quite intimidated to work on my first mystery kit, I have to say. I had a few of them in my stash, and I knew what the artwork was, and there were, you know, I loved the artwork, but I was just a bit worried in case I found it hard going. So I was really, really, really pleased and relieved to find that, at least for this older style with the black and white canvas, I kind of felt like I adapted quite quickly, like within the first square or so, because I work on it sectioned off. I felt like I'd got to grips with it and I knew what was going on, so I was really pleased about that. It only took me a couple of weeks to work on. It's not the hugest, which was another of the reasons I picked this out of my stash to start with. 50.8 by 68.7 centimetres. Sorry, excuse my voice. So it's not small, but it's not huge. A lot of the mystery kits that have come out have been big sort of landscape style paintings that are huge, because they often are. And I didn't want to start with one of those. So yeah, it took me a couple of weeks. There was a good mix of confetti and colour blocking, what I always look for in a painting. If you're not sure what those terms are, confetti is when you are changing the colour of the drill that you're working with regularly in a section. So let's find a section. I mean, there wasn't a ton of confetti, but you can see sections where there's a lot more dotting around and I couldn't just get going with a multiplacer. And then further up, oh, this is a little bit more confetti-like, but we have some big patches of colour blocking as well, where I was able to get out my multiplacer and just whiz through it. So that's why it didn't take too long overall. As I say, I sectioned it off, which I always do with my paintings. I work on an easel, so it's easiest for me if I have them sectioned off. And by that I mean I take release paper, I put a strip of release paper across, I work along that row, and then I move the strip of release paper up. I think if you don't generally work that way, you might want to consider it for mystery kits. I know not everyone does, so you might find that you're fine doing what you normally do. But I will say that the biggest difference I found working on a mystery kit for me was that when I was working through a section, I was just a little bit more prone to missing symbols for a particular colour and then having to go back and get that colour out again to fill them in. So if you were trying to work on a really large section or the whole painting, I mean, if you like chasing the drill colours, then it might not bother you, but you might find that a little bit overwhelming, just depending on how your brain works. Mine wouldn't like it. I also felt like there were a few occasions where I caught myself putting the wrong colour drill down. And I suppose just when the symbols are all black and white, so they've all got a white background, they were nice and clear and easy to distinguish from each other when you're concentrating. But if your concentration lapses a little bit, maybe they sort of just blend into each other a little bit more. And there were a few times where I was like, oh, did I just put the right drill on that space? And I'd check, and I hadn't. So I really enjoyed the experience of feeling like the painting was just like emerging from the black and white as it came out. I think that is just so fun with a mystery, and particularly with the bright vibrant colours in this painting. Like, it's so gorgeous, the colours, and you've got these bright pinks and purples and blues and yellows, and they're just popping out for this black and white background, and that was really fun. I always enjoy that element of a painting anyway, you know, seeing the brightness of the drills emerge from the background, because the background is obviously not as bright and sparkly as the drills, or what would be the point of drilling? And yeah, that was just absolutely magnified by the black and white canvas, so I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the art generally. Like, I also would have loved this painting if it wasn't a mystery kit, although I do think it lent itself really well to being a mystery kit. But yeah, I really enjoy abstract style art in diamond painting. I've commented on this before, and I find it kind of funny because in general life I'm not such a fan of abstract art, particularly not kind of, you know, modern style abstract art. Like, my husband says I'm a Philistine because if we go to a gallery or something, I'm just like, that's not art, that's ridiculous. To be fair, I would never do that about this. But yeah. I enjoy it. I think it lends itself really well to diamond painting because, you know, there's not usually such small details that might look pixelated, and you often get really bright, vibrant colours. I mean, that is so much a part of the enjoyment of a diamond painting for me, the colours that I'm working with. And this would not have been as much fun if the colours were drab. To me, I mean, some people might not mind, but to me, it would not have been as much fun. We obviously had the standard Diamond Art Club super soft canvas. It's really malleable. You can see it's lying really nicely and flat. The drills were pretty good, like evenly spaced. I ran into a couple of problems, but nothing major. I'll show you my trash pot in a minute. I really enjoyed the sort of silvery effect of these ABs. So this is AB, I think the DMC code is 111, and it's a pink, a sort of deep pink background, but the top of it is just silver. That I think is really gorgeous and catches the light. And in general, I thought the ABs were really well used in this painting. There was 4 colours, so there were 2 shades of pink, there was a blue and a yellow. And they're just really fun. Like, I love this bit here, the sort of oil slick effect. And I assume that's what the artist was going for. And you've got all different colours of ABs through here. And that's really fun. But I think they absolutely, they do what ABs are intended to do. You know, they draw the attention to certain areas of the painting. They catch the light more. You can see it's got a nice bit of shimmer to it. I love this section. So yeah, they did a great job with those. And just in case you don't know what an AB drill is, I'll show you when I get the drills out in a second, but basically they've got an extra special coating. So where I talked about the silveriness on the top, that is the AB coating, the Aurora Borealis coating. So yeah, I'm really happy with it overall. Always like to try and be balanced and point out a couple of things that were just not quite as good, so I will do that now. But I will say that overall the quality was amazing, as it almost always is with Diamond Art Club. So I'm very, very happy with it. So here is my little trash drill pot. There is a fair amount in there, I would say, considering the size of the painting. I always like to caveat that with the fact that if I just drop drills and I don't know what colour pot they come from, I tend to just put them in here. You can see some bits of like random shaped resin. That's pretty typical. Like, there's always going to be trash drills, particularly with resin. You'll get ones that have little holes on the top. You'll have ones that have concave or concave backs. There's going to be little issues. There was a particular issue with this painting that I'll just mention, which is that I had a lot of colours with really quite significantly clumped drills. I'll see if I can find some to show you. Let me get a tray. Now let's just pick a colour and see. I'll probably pick one that doesn't have clump drills. But yeah, not too bad in this. But you can sort of see, particularly in the bottom right down here, you see how some of them are really stuck together. And it's not a problem. You can deal with it. I recently bought a drill grinder and I was really, oh, that one came apart. I was really happy to have a drill grinder because actually this would have been quite a pain to deal with otherwise. But it was noticeable that, you know, where I've had clump drills in the past, it's maybe been one or two colours. With this kit, it was a lot of them, if not all of them to some degree. So as I say, I was very glad for my drill grinder, and I was just a little bit worried that I was going to run out of some of the drills because I'd grind them up, but there's only so much you can grind them up before you start to really scratch them, and that's going to spoil the effect in the painting. So there were usually a few that I would just have to discard. I also ran quite low for a few colours of drills. As you can see, I've got some in all of the pots still. I didn't run out. I got a little bit worried I might do some. I mean, particularly actually this one that I picked out before, because as you can see from the fact it was in a large pot, this was one of the bigger colours in the painting. Like, it was all of this section and various other sections. And the way that they organise drills is that you'll get a certain percentage of each colour extra, or that's how it should generally work. So you sort of expect you're going to end up with more spares of the colours that you had more drills of as well. So bearing in mind this was a really large colour of drill in the painting, there's not that many left. But we got there, it was fine. I was a little worried that I wouldn't have enough to pour into my tray and line up for multi-placing towards the end. And I would have had to single place, which, you know, again, that's not a big deal. You can get the painting done. It would just have irked me a little bit. But I didn't quite reach that point. Some other colours that got very low, but, you know, some of these will have been ones that didn't have many of that drill in the first place. I think it's maybe something I've noticed on the last couple of finishes that I'm not finishing up with quite as many drills left over as I may be used to. I think it's fine because I haven't run out of any yet, even, you know, putting quite a lot of drills in my trash pot. It's just something I've noticed is all. And then the only other thing I thought I would comment on, and this is just a me thing, it's nothing to do with the actual quality of the kit at all, is that not so much the top section, but in the bottom section, which I worked on first, I was just getting a little bit worried I might get a bit bored of it, because it was quite repetitive. As you can see, this section is mostly the same colours, and I do get bored if I work with the same colour for too long. So yeah, I was just thinking, I love this pattern, but is it a little bit repetitive? Am I going to need to take a break and step away from this? Which I often do. So again, it's not really a problem. That's exactly what I do if I do get bored of a painting. And then later on, I feel like coming back to it. But the top half was much more diverse. I'm glad I started with the bottom half and got that bit out of the way first. So yeah, it really wasn't an issue at all. So I am going to pan over this and show you what it looks like all a bit more close up. And then I will come back and just give you my final thoughts. So I am really happy to have my first mystery kit under my belt. As I say, I've got a few others that I'm really looking forward to working on those pieces of art at some point, because I do know what they all are. And yeah, it's good to have my first one done, because I was a little bit intimidated. And now I don't have to be. I think even the newer style of canvas with the extra colours, it's going to be a little bit of an extra challenge for me. But I think not as much of a change as doing this from a normal canvas was. So yeah, I'm not so worried anymore. I'm really happy with the finished piece. I think it's a lot of fun. It's bright. It's gorgeous. It makes me want to go look up all the pieces by this artist. There is another one by them, Jasper C, that Diamond Art Club has stocked for a long time now, in round drills. So I was just a little less drawn to it because I prefer square drills, but I do think I might pick that up at some point now. This painting is no longer in stock, so if you're looking at it and thinking it's your sort of thing, unfortunately you can't buy it from Diamond Art Club anymore. You might be able to find it on a destash site if you're lucky, but they are bringing out mystery kits fairly regularly, so you know, there may be something else similar soon. I think maybe one day it might be fun for me to do a true mystery kit where I don't look up what the artwork is first. I don't know. I don't know if I'd have the nerve, because I think if it turned out to be artwork I didn't enjoy, I'd really struggle to get through it. But it might be fun to have the full experience one day. For now, I'm quite happy finding out what the artwork is and knowing that it's something that I don't want to miss out on before buying. Okay, so that's it from me today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.